In a small Nigerian village called Ezioku, there lived a woman named Mami Funanya. She was known in the community as a prophetess, a woman of prayer and miracles. Her husband, Papa Funanya, was once a popular farmer who took care of his family. But one day, he disappeared and no one saw him again. Whenever people asked Mami Funanya about him, he would say he traveled far for business or he is sick and resting. People believed her because she was a respected woman of God. Mami Funanya lived in a small house with her two daughters, Ada and Chinyere. They were always quiet and rarely played with other children. The family seemed normal on the outside, but inside their home, something terrifying was hidden. One day, rumors began to spread around the village. People whispered that Mami Funanya's prayers were powerful and that miracles happened in her home. People with all kinds of sicknesses would visit her house, and after she prayed for them, they would leave healed. It wasn't long before villagers began flooding her home for healing. Unknown to everyone, in one dark room of the house, Papi Funanya's lifeless body lay on a wooden bed, covered with white clothes. He had died 2 years ago, but Mami Funanya refused to bury him. Instead, she kept him in the house, bathing his body with salty water every day to preserve it. What made this story even more shocking was that Mami Funanya would collect the same salty water she used to bath her husband's corpse and gave it to her church members as anointing water. This water is blessed, she would say. It will bring you healing and protection. And strangely, people believed her because they felt better after using it. Mami Funanya's powers didn't come from God as she claimed. She secretly visited a dibia, known as a witch doctor, in a neighboring village who gave her charms and instructions. The witch doctor told her that keeping her husband's corpse in the house would make her more powerful. He also said the salty water from the corpse would give her the ability to perform miracles. When Mami Funanya returned home, she followed the witch doctor's instructions. Each time someone came to her house for healing, she would say long prayers and sprinkle the salty water on them. To everyone's surprise, the person would get better. Even her daughters, Ada and Chinyere, knew the truth, but they kept quiet because they were afraid of their mother. As time passed, people in the village started to suspect that something was wrong. A neighbor named Obinna noticed a strange smell coming from Mami Funanya's house. "What is that smell?" he asked her one day. "It's nothing," she replied. "I am cooking herbs for my prayers." Others began to wonder why Papi Funanya had been gone for so long without visiting or sending a message. When they asked, Mami Funanya would change the story. Sometimes she said he was working in the city, and the other times she said he was sick and couldn't see anyone. One day, a curious young boy named Ikenna sneaked into Mami Funanya's house while she was out praying for someone. He found the room where the corpse was hidden and ran out screaming. "There's a dead body in her house," he shouted. The villagers gathered outside Mami Funanya's house, demanding answers. When she realized they couldn't lie anymore, she broke down and confessed. She admitted that her husband had died 2 years ago and that she had been keeping his body in the house. She also confessed that she had been using the salty water from his corpse to perform miracles. The villagers were horrified. They immediately informed the local authorities, and Mami Funanya was arrested. The police also took the daughters, Ada and Chinyere, into custody for questioning. The witch doctor was later found and arrested as well. The village elders held a meeting to cleanse the community of the evil that had taken place. They invited a team of pastors and traditional priests to pray over the village and purify it. Papi Funanya's body was finally given a proper burial, and the house was sealed. Ada and Chinyere were sent to live with a kind relative in another village where they were given counseling and education to help them recover from the trauma. Mami Funanya was sentenced to prison for her crimes, and the witch doctor was also punished. Months after Mami Funanya was arrested and Papi Funanya's body was buried, the village of Ezioku was still recovering from the shock. People whispered about the incident in the marketplace, at the river, and during meetings. Children were warned never to go near Mami Funanya's abandoned house, which had become a symbol of fear. Ada and Chinyere, now living with their aunt, Auntie Nena, were adjusting to their new life. Auntie Nena was kind but firm. She made sure the girls went to school and received counseling from the village priest. But Ada, the older sister, struggled with guilt. She often woke up at night crying, haunted by memories of her mother's actions and the sight of her father's corpse. Ada, you are safe now, Auntie Nena would say, holding her close. Your life is not defined by the past. You can choose a new path. Mami Funanya struggled in prison. Meanwhile, in prison, Mami Funanya was not the powerful prophetess she was once appeared to be. Her fellow inmates mocked her, calling her Mama Dead Body. She spent her days alone, reflecting on her actions. One day, a prison chaplain visited her. Mami Funanya, God is merciful, but you must truly repent, he said. At first, she ignored him, but over time, his words began to sink in. She started attending prison fellowship meetings, hoping to find peace. Will my daughters ever forgive me? She asked the chaplain one day. They will, but it will take time, he replied. You must show them you've changed. Back in the neighboring village, the witch doctor, Ezewanyi, faced his own reckoning. After his arrest, he confessed to deceiving Mami Funanya. I lied to her because I wanted her money, he admitted. The charms I gave her were fake, but her blind belief made them seem real. The revelation shocked both the authorities and the villagers. Many people began questioning the practices of other witch doctors, and some turned to their churches or traditional elders for guidance. Ada and Chinyere found strength. At school, Ada and Chinyere initially faced bullying. Your mother is a witch, their classmates would shout. But with time, their counselor taught them how to respond with strength. Your mother's actions do not define you, the counselor told them. You are kind, intelligent, and brave girls with a bright future. Ada began excelling in her studies, dreaming of becoming a lawyer to help others who had been victims of injustice. Chinyere, on the other hand, found joy in drawing and wanted to become an artist. The village elders decided to rebuild trust and unity in the community. They organized a cleansing ceremony, inviting pastors and traditional priests to pray for the land. During the event, one elder, Pa Okonkwo, stood up and addressed the crowd. This incident has taught us that we must always question what we do not understand. He said, let us learn from this and be more vigilant as a community. The villagers also set up a system to report strange activities, ensuring that such an incident will never happen again. 2 years later, Mami Funanya was released from prison for good behavior. She returned to Ezioku not as a prophetess, but as a humble woman seeking forgiveness. She went door to door, apologizing to everyone she had deceived. When she finally stood before her daughters, tears streamed down her face. Ada, Chinyere, I am so sorry, she said. I know I failed you, but I want to make things right. Ada looked at her mother, her heart heavy with emotions. Mama, we forgive you, she said, but we also need time to heal. The family slowly began to rebuild their relationship. Mami Funanya took up farming to provide for herself and supported her daughter's dreams. Ada pursued her law degree, while Chinyere's art became gaining recognition in the community. The village of Ezioku became a symbol of resilience and redemption, a place where people learned to question, forgive, and grow. If you were Ada or Chinyere, would you forgive your mother? Let me know in the comment section. After Mami Funanya reconciled with her children, the village of Ezioku thought peace had returned. But strange things began happening. People reported hearing whispers and footsteps near Mami Funanya's abandoned house at night. Some claimed to see a figure resembling Papi Funanya standing by the door staring at passerby. I saw him with my own eyes, Obinna the village hunter told the elders. His spirit is restless. The elders dismissed these claims, at first thinking they were just the product of fear. But when more people started reporting the same experiences, they decided to investigate further. One night, a group of brave young men led by Ikenna, the same boy who had uncovered the corpse earlier, decided to explore the abandoned house, armed with lanterns and sticks. They entered the house. The air inside was heavy, and the smell of decay still lingered. In the room where the corpse had been kept, they found strange marks on the walls. It appeared as though someone has written words in a language none of them could understand. They also found a hidden trapdoor beneath the old wooden bed. Curious and frightened, they opened the trapdoor. Below was a small underground room filled with bones, charms, and a disturbing mural of a faceless figure surrounded by flames. The men fled the house, terrified, and reported their findings to the village elders. The discovery forced the elders to confront Ezewanyi, the witch doctor who had guided Mami Funanya. Although he was in custody, the elders requested permission to question him about the strange marks and hidden room. When confronted, Ezewanyi smirked. The woman was desperate and I gave her what she wanted, but I warned her if the rituals were not completed properly, the spirit of her husband would never rest. The elders were horrified. What do you mean by rituals? They demanded. The final ritual was to bury the corpse properly with certain rites. Ezewanyi explained, but she refused to do it. Now, his spirit lingers, angry and vengeful. The elders realized that they had to act quickly to protect the village. They invited both the local priest and the respected traditional chief, Igwe Nnadi, to perform a cleansing ceremony. Together, they combined Christian prayers with traditional rituals to appease Papi Funanya's spirits. On the day of the ceremony, the entire village gathered. The priest led prayers, asking for God's mercy, while Igwe Nnadi poured libation and spoke to the ancestors. They sealed the trapdoor and burned all the items found in the underground. As the flames consumed the objects, a loud wail echoed through the house, sending chills down everyone's spines. Then silence fell. After the ceremony, the strange occurrences stopped. The villagers rebuilt their sense of community, holding regular meetings to ensure transparency and support among one another. They turned Mami Funanya's house into a community center, where people would come for genuine healing and guidance. Ada and Chinyere, who were now excelling in their new lives, returned to the village for the first time since the incident. They stood before the community and apologized for their silence during their mother's actions. "We were scared," Ada said, "but we are no longer afraid. We want to use our experiences to help others." Months after the cleansing ceremony, the village of Eziokwu had seemingly returned to normal. The community center, once Mama Ifunanya's haunted home, had become a hub for meetings, celebrations, and education. Villagers worked hard to put the past behind them, but whispers of unease lingered. Some claimed they still felt an eerie presence near the center at night. Others, especially elders like Mamu Nkechi, warned that the rituals performed might not have been enough. "Spirits do not forget easily," she muttered to anyone who would listen. Soon, strange events began to unfold. Villagers who frequented the community center started falling ill. It began with fevers, followed by vivid nightmares of a man with no face. Victims claimed to hear whispers in their sleep, calling their names and urging them to leave the village. Chukwudi, a carpenter who helped renovate the center, was the first to succumb. One evening, he collapsed while walking and started muttering incoherently about Papi Funanya. "Ada, Chinyere, don't let him take me," he screamed before falling unconscious. The village priest and elders were alarmed. Could it be that Papa Ifunanya's spirit was still restless? Ada and Chinyere, now studying in a nearby town, were called back to the village upon hearing the villagers' concerns. Ada insisted on visiting the community center. "If Papa's spirit is still here, we need to face it," she said. As the sisters entered the center, they felt an inexplicable chill. In one corner of the room, Ada noticed a loose floorboard. With the help of some villagers, they pried it open and discovered a small dusty box. Inside were items that looked like remnants of the rituals Mama Ifunanya had performed. A lock of Papa Ifunanya's hair, a small bottle of what appeared to be blood, and a piece of paper with his name scrawled on it. The priest examined the items and concluded that Mama Ifunanya had performed a binding ritual, trapping Papi Funanya's spirit in the house. The ritual wasn't fully undone during the cleansing ceremony, he said. The villagers decided they needed the help of someone with greater spiritual authority. They sent for Babi Joma, a renowned spiritualist known for resolving the most complex cases. When Babi Joma arrived, he immediately sensed the lingering energy in the community center. "This is not just about a restless spirit," he said. "There is anger here, a curse fueled by betrayal and lies." He explained that Papi Funanya's spirit was tied to the center because of unresolved pain. He felt abandoned even in death, Babi Joma said. Babi Joma organized a final cleansing ritual that required the presence of Ada, Chinyere, and the villagers. Everyone gathered at the center late one night, holding candles. During the ritual, Babi Joma spoke directly to Papi Funanya's spirits. "You were wronged in life, but your family and community are here to make amends. Go in peace." Ada and Chinyere stepped forward. "Papa, we are sorry for what happened," Ada said, her voice shaking. "We didn't speak up when we should have, but we want you to rest now. We will honor your memory." As they spoke, a strong wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles. Some villagers screamed, but Babi Joma remained calm. "This is the spirit living," he assured them. After a moment of silence, the room felt lighter, as though a heavy burden had been lifted. Following the ritual, the strange illnesses stopped, and the nightmares ceased. The community center became a place of true healing, where villagers came together to support one another. Ada and Chinyere, now at peace, dedicated their lives to educating others about the dangers of superstition and secrecy. Ada became a lawyer, helping those who had been exploited, while Chinyere used her art to tell the story of their family and the lessons they learned. And the community of Eziokwu lived in peace, happily ever after. Here are a few morals I want you to learn from this story. Number 1, secrets, no matter how hidden, will eventually come to light. Evil deeds may seem to bring temporary success, but they always lead to destruction. In the end, it's important to seek genuine help and never trust blindly, even when someone claims to be a person of God. The story of Mami Funanya reminds us that not everything that looks holy is truly from God. Always ask questions and don't be afraid to seek the truth. Secondly, no matter how deep the darkness, the light of truth and forgiveness can bring healing. Always seek the truth and remember that it's never too late to make amends. Thirdly, secrets have a way of growing into something far worse if they are not confronted. True healing comes from the honesty, unity, and courage to face the truth, no matter how painful. Now, the last one is, secrets and lies may have the power to destroy, but truth and courage can heal even the deepest of wounds. I hope you learned something from this story. Thank you so much for listening to my story. My name is Onyi of Onyi Stories and Folktales, and please, if you haven't subscribed, kindly click on the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, so when I post more moral lesson filled stories like this, you'll be the first to get them. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey, thank you so much for your consistent support. I do not take your support for granted. I sincerely appreciate you. See you in my next video. Bye bye.